Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a very poetic episode of the Weekend Superhero Podcast. This is episode 29, by the way. I'm Sean. Sitting with me tonight is Darius, Pat, and Steve. How are you guys tonight?
I'm a little drunk. I'm not going to lie.
Are you really?
I'm there.
I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm celebrating.
Guess who's not off work
drinks.
tomorrow? Me.
Steve, I think you know the drill by now. Who did we talk to last time?
Kezia Noble. She is the leading female dating and attraction expert for men from the United Kingdom.
She gave us.
I didn't look at her pictures online.
She
at
gave us
all.
fantastic dating advice, and I think someone recently went
Oh, Jesus
on a
Christ.
date. So, Steve, how'd it go?
That was good.
Did you use any Kezia's advice?
I don't think so. I mean, it was just kind of happened. We were just talking. It was a good time.
Oh, so it's already over?
Did you go to dinner?
We did we just got drinks.
How about the
Nice.
friend zone freeze out?
Did you
Didn't
freeze
get an
her out?
opportunity to use a friend zone freeze out.
Not yet.
It's in the pocket, though.
Will there be a second date where you can try this
yeah,
out?
it's possible.
Nice.
Should we do the
Nice.
podcast from there live?
Live,
on the scene?
live on the scene. Maybe like the golf announcers.
Yeah, so when do we get to meet her?
Yeah, Steve.
Never.
Well, everybody, it is still February, the month of love. It's also Black History Month and randomly Hot Breakfast Month.
Hot breakfast.
Hot breakfast.
Hot breakfast.
And there's many ways to express love. Physical affection, gifts, cyber stalking, dick in a box, whatever. But today, we're talking about poetry. That's today. Wait. Stop. Don't stop the episode. Don't pause us. Don't move on. I know the macho guys, or girls, equality, I think poetry, you guys think poetry is probably not for you. But you'll be interested to hear that poetry has influenced you and a lot more than you know.
Yeah, so here are a list of some of your favorite movies inspired by poetry. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Released in 2000, starring George Clooney. It sprung from an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey, which is a famous epic poem.
Yep. True story.
Number 2, Troy, released in 2004, starring my body double, Brad Pitt. That screenplay was written based off of Homer's Iliad, another famous Homer epic play.
When is this study from?
2011 at the latest.
It's not.
Number 3, Jabberwocky, released in 1977.
Aren't the Jabberwockies like a dance group?
Yeah, I was just going to
They
say.
are.
Yeah.
And they were also inspired by Lewis Carroll's nonsense poem of the same name from Through the Looking Glass.
True story.
Interesting.
Number 4, Disney's Mulan was based on the ancient Chinese poem, The Ballad of Mulan.
Get out.
Yep, the
And
whole movie.
Last and not least, and I actually didn't know this one, Mel Gibson's Braveheart, released in 1995,
Son of a bitch.
was based on a 15th century Scottish epic poem titled The Acts and Deeds of the Illustrious and Valiant Champion Sir William Wallace, or simply The Wallace. I also took a lot of liberties with those Scottish words.
That's one of my favorite movies. I didn't know that.
Still very impressed, but it's all true. Now, poetry can be almost anything, but it still needs to be something to be considered good. Now, there's a lot of type of poems out there. There's allegory, ballad, blank verse, epic, narrative, ode, sonnet, free verse, but two of the most well-known are the
Hip hop and R&B.
or the haiku and the limerick. So, we've never tried this before, but we thought we'd give it a try. So we're going to start with the haiku. Maybe Darius and Steve, you could tell us.
I'll start.
What is a haiku? Before you even start, what is a haiku?
Haiku is a poem. And I don't know if it is very strict on the wording, like how many words per line.
That's literally the only restriction.
It's actually not words,
Well, I
it's
mean, like
syllables.
it's up to that many words on the line, right?
Yeah.
It's up to
it doesn't
five.
have to be exactly.
That's right. Syllables, not words.
Five.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 575 line by line. So it's 575.
So it's very limited by its meter.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Steve, I think you've actually prepared a poem, and maybe you could give us the inspiration behind your poem before you start the song.
My inspiration is Darius.
Darius, okay.
Okay.
Darius is also
here we
my
go.
inspiration, just in general life.
Okay.
Pat, I'd like you to count to make sure that we've got this haiku
I can't count to 7, you know that.
Yeah.
All right.
It doesn't have to be exact.
out of
Remember
fingers
that.
and toes.
Here we go. Ready? Goodbye to the ladies. That's how D-Man says goodbye. I wonder if they cry.
That was awesome.
That is good. That was good.
Well, you can't get much deeper than that. I mean,
You know what? If that girl doesn't want to go out with you again, I will.
Steve, that was beautiful, and from the heart. And from the heart. Darius, I think you prepared a haiku as well, right?
I prepared a couple of them, and one might be about myself, if that's okay.
No, you do you.
I kind of twisted on the assignment a
Well,
little
it's the month of love and self haiku.
Selfishness. Okay, so it's 575. Pat, make sure that we are 575. Darius, take it away.
bit. All right. Jameson. Will Jameson make me puke? Better yet, I'll just have just the chicken, because that's my cup of tea.
What?
Okay. Hold on. I'll let you take. Hold on.
Okay. So, a little bit of background. I happen to know. I was there when Darius wrote this. It was last evening when we were about 3 bottles of Jameson in. Darius, not one of those lines followed the meter. Not one was 5, 7, or 5. That being said, I'm going to allow it
Okay.
because I actually loved that. I thought it was great.
Okay.
Perfect.
It wasn't a haiku, but
wait.
it was a great poem.
Great news. He fucked up the first one. Imagine what this
Yeah.
one's going to be. What's the inspiration behind this one, by the way?
Well,
Also,
this-
Jameson.
This one is something that we want to bring back.
Oh, here we go.
Take
see
it back
I already
now,
see where
y'all.
this is going. Go ahead.
Sometimes I wonder, are the hellos coming back? I'd prefer if they're back.
I prefer if they're back too.
Okay, we hit the drunk point. I
4 out of 5 dentists prefer.
I got one more. Let me know when your stomachs are ready for this one.
Oh my
Lay
God.
it on me,
Well,
D-man.
if they're anything like the last two, you're probably nailed it.
This
So
is my
Yeah.
this is my favorite open mic night ever.
Sonny,
Harriet. Harriet.
Hard-hearted Hovinger of haggis.
All right, D-Man, go ahead.
Sonny Kennywood.
What? Start that again?
Sonny Kennywood.
Son.
Sonny Kennywood. A British gracious blonde flies on a sky coaster.
Wow.
Blod. What's a blod?
I have zero idea what he's been talking about since he picked up that. What?
And not one of these was a haiku. He's 0 for 4.
So let's just proceed as if that went really well.
Oh, so we're pretending.
Didn't go well.
Is that the insert?
All right. So I think it's safe to assume that we're professionals.
Clearly.
We hit all the rules of the haiku, minus Darius. Huh?
So just high, not coup.
5, 7, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 3, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah. 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
But I'd like to move on to the second most infamous one, the limerick. These are forms of verse. They're usually 5-liners, often funny, actually mostly obscene. It's like the old there once was a man
Named
named
McSweeney.
McSweeney. There we go. This types of that. So a lot of the time they are not safe for work. The one I found on Wikipedia pretty much explains it. It goes like this. The limerick packs laughs anatomical into a space that's quite economical. But the good ones I've seen are so seldom clean that the clean ones are so seldom comical.
Oh, that's deep.
Listen.
I know,
you.
but it was pretty fun. I really like that one. So you guys did the haiku. We prepared we prepared a limerick. Pat, would you like to go on this one?
I would love to go on this one.
What was your inspiration behind this poem,
My inspiration was the man sitting next to me,
Darius?
Sean.
Okay. Thought it was going to be me.
There once was a man named Sean who drank so much his liver was gone. He found a new hobby at last and started a podcast, but it's really just another booze-a-thon.
Oh, I wish you hadn't have done this.
Hey, you asked for this.
Yeah, he did.
All right, well, going with the whole Limerick thing, I wrote one for you.
Aw.
My inspiration is Pat.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't get you anything, but I just did.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
There once was a man named Pat
There sure was.
who seems to be missing his dad.
That doesn't rhyme, but okay, I'll allow it.
He did 23andMe, and right on the sheet, it turns out his real dad was black.
Hey, only 46.7%. I've actually done some checking that doesn't give me enough to actually use the N-word.
Oh, yeah. Man.
I was so close.
Try it again. Maybe
We
next
should need
time.
like 4% more.
Yeah, you just need to
I
get
was
above
told
50.
50. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
so close.
Yeah.
Well, I got to
50.01. Yep.
I got to be real with you. I had so much fun with this. I kept going.
We all could have kept going.
Yeah, this is garbage.
You and Darius both
Sean
wrote
always-
like 27
Sean always
poems.
takes
I didn't
liberties
know.
on this.
I had to keep rolling.
Oh, so you're going to attack me? No.
We'll start with Steve.
Okay.
Is Darius about being black too?
I think we know that one. Steve, my inspiration was you.
Oh, that's great.
There once was a man we called Steve, who one day drank lots of whiskey. He threw up on my porch. He knew there was more, so he puked by his car in my street.
Allegedly, okay? You can't prove that was me.
Actually, we did a 23andMe on it. Turns out you're black too.
And we broke Steve.
Sorry, guys, I
There
broke
it is.
Steve.
There it is.
Darius, I also wrote one for you, if that's okay.
All right.
Sorry, Steve. Didn't mean to make you cry.
There once was a man we called D, who took after Harvey Weinstein.
Shit.
Because the girls in the room would be his pretty soon, and no became, well, okay, maybe.
That is not okay.
That is not okay. Wow.
Oh, my God. So it turns out poetry is actually good for you. According to the National
None of
Association,
those poems were good for any of us.
I don't know if they were poems or puns.
according to the National Association for Poetry Therapy, the use of poetry for therapeutic purposes dates back to primitive rites, in which shamans would chant poems to heal an individual or the entire tribe. It can be good for developmental learning, improving ideas. It's therapeutic not only for the reader, but also sometimes the writer. Our guest tonight is one unique and joyful spirit. He's been creating and having his poems published in the celebration section of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette for more than a decade, spreading happiness to his readers. He performed on Channel 11, the Fedco Zone, radio stations such as Colin Dunlap's 93.7 The Fan, pepping up Steeler and Pirate fans alike. Please welcome, live in studio, Pittsburgh's premier poet, Billie Nardozzi.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? And now my life is changing oh so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the hate. But every now and then I feel so insecure. I know that I just treat you like I've never done before. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
Thank you.
That was awesome.
That was sick. Yeah.
Where'd you come up with that?
I wrote it for the Beatles, and I gave it to them. And I regretted it to this
Well, that was
day.
nice of you.
I'm son of a
Are
gun.
we all unmuted? Billy, that was fantastic. Thank
Oh.
you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you coming on and sharing your talents. That was very, very cool.
I thank you for asking me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it's
being
funny
here.
that you
guys are cool.
mentioned the Beatles, but that was your first poem, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, it was. It was a Beatles story.
So tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Well, it happened like this. Well, I've loved the Beatles since I was 7, emulating them. I had written a poem, and at the time, the Pittsburgh Press was on strike at that time. And I don't remember the newspaper. It was in Homestead. And I wrote the poem and sent it to them. And they said, would you like to send a photo to it? So I sent my high school picture with my suit and tie.
Nice.
And you don't want to see it. I didn't bring it. No, I think
It's just like Tinder. Yeah.
anyway,
Oh man.
it was the start of me thinking I may be able to do something with my poetry. It got good reviews, and that was, I guess, what can I say? It was the birth of it.
There you
Nice.
go.
Very cool. All right, Billy. Burning question. Everybody wants to know. The wardrobe. You went from Billy to Billie.
Like Billie Jean.
Yeah, right.
Small but significant change.
Change your wardrobe, dressing all comfy cozy.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm cozy.
Hey, as long as you're comfortable.
Oh,
whatever.
no, believe me.
Yeah.
We love it. I just got to know, why the change?
The change, because it just, the word I use, honestly, is metamorphosis.
Okay.
Occurred. It just happened. It really just happened. And something inside me, and it, I was alone at home, and I put on ABBA, the Dancing Queen.
Like you do.
Right.
Yeah, we've been there. We've all been there, believe it.
And really, I started putting the wardrobe on, and I'm going to tell you something. I felt different. I felt very happy.
Yeah.
I
It
really,
just
I was
felt right.
Huh?
It just felt right.
It did.
Yeah. This
It
works.
did, and it happened. That was it.
Good for you.
And I wasn't ashamed of it. It's me.
No, you should
Hey,
be.
well, yeah. As long as you're comfortable, that's the most important thing,
Yep.
right?
Very good. That I'm comfortable.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I knew I was in good hands when I knocked at the door, and I wasn't turned away. He didn't go, what the?
He tries to
Here.
turn me away all
Wait
the
a
time.
second. Yeah.
No.
I've been turned away
It
from
was
here.
very nice greeting, Billy. Come on. But thank you.
No, I'll let you can have the bed. It's all yours.
Don't say that. No.
You got a new roommate.
Oh, he's moving in.
Yeah.
I saw a suitcase out. If you guys can help me bring that in, that'd be great.
Oh, man. All right.
this is
Sasha
good.
knows she's getting kicked out. Or?
Is she here?
No.
No. Coincidence? I think not.
No, not a coincidence. No, this one was planned.
If you want me to, I'll break the news.
Do you have a song about that, by any chance?
I can go home and write it real fast.
Yeah, well,
Everything's
You are
easier
home.
presented with the song.
All right. So Billy, let me just start by saying your billboard on Bigelow is awesome. Love it.
Thank you.
But I have a question. So, when I think of a billboard, I think of someone trying to sell something, right? So what is it that you're trying to sell on that billboard?
The word is, I guess, promote.
Okay, that's fair.
Promote my poetry.
Okay.
In answer to your question, as far as selling, I've not made any money from it. I've got a lot of calls from it,
I bet you have.
but they're very nice. Most of them are very, very nice.
That's cool.
Cool.
You put your cell phone number up there. What was the point of that?
My phone number. I don't have a cell.
Oh, sorry, your phone number.
I don't own a cell. No, I'm very old-fashioned.
Landline.
Like I said, no podcast, no.
Yeah.
It's true. We went through
My home
Facebook to
phone.
even communicate.
But I do. Yes, my phone number's there. Not my address.
That's
People said
That's probably smart.
Okay, you
We all have limits.
That's probably smart.
don't do the address.
But we will be letting everyone know Billy's address at the end of this podcast. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
Check it out in the
It-
comments.
The address, no, I'll tell him the address is, what's your address? You said I'm new.
Yeah, he is
That's
moving
true.
in. So
Yeah, he's here. That's it.
That's right. Update on the address.
All right, so when you're not writing poems, Pittsburgh wants to know, what does Billy do for a living?
Presently, I'm a housekeeper at the Holiday Inn. I clean rooms
Oh, that's cool.
for
Cool.
something.
How'd you get that gig?
Yeah.
After I retired from my old job from the state liquor store.
Oh,
And
just
I,
kind of a side
I
gig now.
spend a lot of time
Yes.
at the state liquor store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
They know him
See-
by
Seeing
name.
the selection over here.
Yeah, I thought I walked into one. No, but anyway, this is a group of good guys. I love it. Seriously, this is cool. And answer to your question, I had retired. I was off for 3 months, and I'm not the type to just sit around. I couldn't do that. I said I got to get something, and it's like 5 minutes away from my house.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
said I'm going to go over and take a shot. Well, I went back 3 times. And to make a long story short, they hired me, and that was that.
Nice.
That's
It's
awesome.
It's nice, convenient.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something casual.
Yeah.
When I'm invited to something, I can. The boss will let me get off, call off as like today.
Exhibit A, right here.
Exhibit A, yeah.
If you're listening,
It's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting them. Thanks for letting them come on the show.
Thank you. Good.
And if you're ever in
Shoulder.
Green Tree, stay at the Holiday Inn Express.
We got a whole new
The
billboard.
first
coming.
Are you a weekend superhero? No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
This is like fun. This is good.
Yeah.
All right. I got a question over here. So, what got you into writing poems? And can you remember the first one that you did write?
Oh yes, I did. Before that, for that beautiful poem that I said, was a neighbor of mine who lived a block on the same block, like 2 blocks up. I wrote a poem about her. I never sent it to her though. I wrote on it, put it in an envelope, and I still have it. Says never mailed. I don't know why.
We should mail that out tonight.
Maybe she might hear this.
Yeah.
Oh.
She
Maybe she
it
might
on
hear
here.
this.
Listen, if you were Billy's neighbor,
But no, I never mailed it. That was my first. That was my
That was
first
your
poem.
first one?
Yes.
that's cool. Well, the first
Yes.
part, what got you into poetry in the first place?
A girl.
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
answer.
I don't really know. I just sat down and started doing it. I never said to myself, I'm gonna do poetry. It just really happened.
Very cool.
You know,
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something.
And-
Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's just curl my hair. You said go ahead.
He's just rubbing in the fact that he actually has hair.
Yeah, right.
That's embarrassing.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, me either.
He curled his hair one too many times, if you know what I
That's
mean.
what happens.
No, I don't. What do you mean?
So, Billy, poetry, it's a hard gig. It's a hard gig, especially to stay with. Let me ask you something. What do you think sets you apart from other modern day poets?
I would say I write about my poems are very simple.
Yeah.
I write about everyday occurrences of people. I would say I'd say that
That's good.
because most of those big poets are sometimes I can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think mine's very simple.
They use a
Everyday life.
They use a dollar word when a nickel word would suffice.
Yes. Yes.
Good call.
So I would.
So along those lines, so you do kind of tend to keep things simple and more everyday. You know, everything from how much you love Shop and Save to the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yeah.
But-
oh, there.
but
you guys
one-
did your homework.
But one caught my eye. Could you tell me the inspiration behind Godzilla Meets the Lesbian?
You know,
Wow.
I swear,
There has to
you
be
know
a
what?
great story
Wow.
behind that.
I swear, I'm telling you. I was going through my poems to see what I was going to recite. I said, are they going to bring this up? I'm telling you the truth.
we
I
sure
knew
did.
it.
If you had listened to the podcast, you'd have known we were going to bring it up.
Well, let me think. I was drunk.
Yeah, there we go.
I really was.
With you so far.
Great answer.
I was really
Been there, done that.
I was drinking, and I just sit and think of just wild things that could happen. I don't know if they would, but could happen. I don't know. I can't explain it. In today's world, and maybe in my subconscious, it's very prevalent today about lesbians and how
Sure.
tough they are. And
Yeah.
I guess I was sitting there thinking then, I wonder if she could beat his ass. I mean, really. That's my. And I wrote it. As I said, I had a couple drinks. And I think, did I have it that she did?
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, first of all, cheers to that. Second of
I
all,
think I put this.
this is the 29th episode of this podcast.
And Sean is broken.
That
Yeah.
is by far my favorite answer to any question we have ever asked. The bar has been set for the future. You know, it's a good thing we have off work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Speak for yourselves.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Steve.
Steve.
Cool.
Sorry, Steve.
So, good question. Thank you. I knew it.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot real quick here. Here we go. Finish this line. Roses are red. Violets are blue.
I love being here with you.
Oh, yeah!
Nailed it.
There it is.
Well done.
And that is
Boom.
our first
You
peek
caught me
of the
to the
night.
quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somehow you just have
That's
to.
it.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
That's it. Got it.
He's looking for the high five of it.
There it is.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
we only cheers. That's all we do.
We high five with booze.
Yeah.
That's true.
On second thought,
Oh,
Oh.
if I
you want to try it again?
no, roses are red, violets are blue. I love your tattoo.
There it is. That too.
Nice.
Perfect.
There it is.
Oh, now the high fives
thinking-
come out.
I looked
going.
down and went, oh,
You make it. You make it personal.
But that's okay. But this is cool. Right. This is real. It's right on the spot.
That's what we
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Genuine.
we
All
do.
spontaneous.
All
Great.
candid
I love it.
stuff.
So, what is the one thing that you want everyone to know about you? And that's not limited to Pittsburgh with the
Wow, that's a-
billboard area, but
That's
Just
a
the one thing.
That's a deep question,
These
man.
are really these are
Okay.
really good questions. That I am serious about my poetry, and I am not ashamed of how I look.
Hell yeah.
there you go.
Amen to that.
Boom.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. All right. I don't know if anybody, anyone else has any more questions, but Billy, do you have any poetry you'd like to share with us today?
I only brought 25.
Oh, so
Wow,
that's
that's it.
But no, Sean, I do.
Well,
I,
when
have
you move in, you can bring the rest.
I got a whole trunk full.
Have the movers bring it in and put it over here.
Yes, if you want me to recite,
I would
one?
love you to recite.
Okay, let me go over to my briefcase.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Take your time.
What are you
press
going to
record.
recite for us today?
Well, I thought, Sean, appropriately enough, all that we've discussed, I wrote a poem about the fans of my poetry.
Amazing.
All right.
Awesome. Let's hear
All
it.
right.
Entitled A Poem for My Fans. I'd like to take a minute to thank you for all the happiness and joy that you bring. For every time that you read one of my poems, it sure makes my little heart sing. And I want to thank you for making me smile every time that I listen to your calls. And I sure am so grateful for that I just want to shout it right through the walls. I want to tell you I don't even mind about some of the negative calls of the day, because when I say all calls are welcomed, I mean exactly what I say. And so again, I thank you so much for being so thoughtful and kind and true. But most of all, what I really want to say, how nice it is to have friends like you.
That is
Awesome.
good.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hell yeah.
You guys make me feel like $1 million here. I'm really serious.
If we keep drinking,
you
wait till
do.
tomorrow. You'll change your tune.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Billy, you've been amazing. You're just such a sweet guy. One, for driving all the way out here and hanging out with us. Anything else you want to say to your fans?
I want to say that thank you again for the guys here inviting me. I'm having a great time, and it's one of the bigger highlights of my life. I'm not putting you on because I'm here. I mean it. This is
Damn.
awesome.
Wow.
You're welcome here
It's awesome.
anytime you want.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Come have a
Awesome.
drink with us.
Well, he is welcome here anytime
Yeah,
because he lives here now.
Yeah.
It's your new roommate.
Hopefully, I'll be
I'm
welcome
coming.
here.
Yeah, actually, Sean, we need to talk about that.
What are you guys having for dinner later?
Yeah.
You're not
it's on the-
invited. Don't worry about it.
You cook Italian?
All right, Billy. Before we leave, we play at the game at the end of every episode called Fact or Fucked. Are you in?
What is it?
It's Factor F-U-C-T.
So it's
Fact
cute.
or
You
fucked.
emphasize
Oh,
the U like the
oh,
U's
okay.
taken out of the word. Like,
Okay.
like there's some
Okay.
other letter in there.
Are you in?
I'm in.
Here we go. Fact or fucked.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
We'll start with Pat. Pat.
Hey.
The longest poem in the world is an Indian epic poem called the Mahabharata, and it consists of 1.8 million words.
That's a fact.
Fact. Billy?
Fucked.
That is a fact. Oh. Steve, you're up.
That's a long poem.
Yeah.
It's an epic poem.
Steve, the original poem that begins, roses are red, violets are blue, originally referred to the badges worn by American soldiers.
I'm gonna say fucked.
Fucked. Billy?
Oh, fucked. Fucked. Yeah.
It is fucked. Well done, both of you.
It had to be
I
because,
just went with him.
first of all, violets are not blue.
They're purple.
Violets are, well,
Violet.
Violet.
Violets.
You're starting violet.
Yeah.
Darius,
Oh, yeah.
the birthstone for February is amethyst, a stone that ancient Greeks
Grinks. Doesn't he play tight end for the Patriots?
I've heard of them drinks.
Rob Gronkowski. Born in February.
Do I say fact now or?
That was good.
Darius,
I'm not as drunk as you think. I have a poem about the Grinks.
all this is going to get cut out, and I hate these people.
Blooper reel.
Darius, the birthstone for February is amethyst, a stone that the ancient Greeks believed that if worn would protect the wearer from drunkenness.
He threw that drunkenness there at the end there, huh?
I was like, keep in mind, Sean was born in February.
Yeah. I'm going to go fact.
Fact. Billy?
Fucked.
That is a fact. Ooh, in fact,
terrible.
amethyst means not drunken. Who knew?
In Grink?
Oh,
In Gr-
that was good.
Are you proud of you?
Yes.
Are you proud of yourself?
Have
Very.
to keep it.
3 more and I'll let you go. Pat. Edgar Allan Poe's first job was a potion and elixir salesman.
No. Professor Snape was the potion master,
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm going
true.
to say fucked.
Fuck, Billy.
Fucked.
Fucked. Well done to both of you. Nice job.
Got one.
Steve.
Yo.
Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham was written because Seuss had a bet with his publisher that he could not complete an entire book without exceeding 236 words.
Fucked.
I've been saying F all night. I'm going to say fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Oh, I knew it.
Actually, Green Eggs and Ham only consisted of 50 words.
Damn.
Oh.
Combination of 50 words.
Hey, I didn't peek out there.
Very proud of
Remember,
you.
I said at the beginning of the year, I said I wasn't going to
Yeah,
go.
you're
And
doing much better.
I've been trying to keep track of you actually peeking. You haven't done it. Darius, last one. Ready?
Grinks.
Don't encourage them, Billy. Darius, the shortest poem in history was composed by American poet Strickland Gillian and is known famously as Fleas and reads in full. Adam had 'em.
I'm going to go with Fucked.
Fucked. Billy?
Fucked.
That's a fact. Everyone, that is a fact.
That had to be a fact. Do you think Sean could make up a poem?
I went 1 for 1.
Usually the last one is always a fuck.
Guys, thank you so much. That's our show. Huge thank you to Billie Nardozzi for coming all the way out to the studio and sharing his talents with us. If you want to get in touch with Billy, his phone number is right on the billboard, 412-921-3694. All calls are welcome. Keep up with him and his latest rhymes. If you'd like to find out about us, you can find us at weekendsuperheroes.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Weekend Superheroes. Pat, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye, Pat.
Would you like to say goodbye,
I want to say
Steve?
goodbye to the Grinks.
Would you like to say goodbye?
I can't even follow that one up, but I'll say goodbye to the ladies.
There we go. And Billy, take us home.
If you forget, I'll knock you unconsciously, but always remember to podcast responsibly.
Have a good night, everybody.
Great.